Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, babies in their diapers, welcome to the Tiberius Show with your host, Tiberius Boy.
That's me, Tiberius.
Today, we're going to talk about some very awesome stuff. We have a horror video about escaping from a hotel, a book about dragons visiting the Nightwings, and we have a totally awesome guest. Today we have the one, the only, the amazing Lindsay Matteoni. Lindsay is an interior designer who is specializing in residential interiors, kitchens, baths, and murals.
Yep, that is exactly right.
Thank you. Well, today, we're going to start off with the video of the week, and this is going to be a door.
And now it's time for the video game of the week.
Today's video game is Doors. This gives me by L Splash. Because it's on Roblox, you're able to play it on PC, Mac, Xbox, and even your cell phone, and it is free. Well, you may remember L Splash from their other games, Ragdoll Universe and Vocab Havoc. So first off, you appear in an elevator and you press E to open a door. Then you enter a lobby of a hotel. You see room 1, but it's locked. There are all sorts of stuff to look at. You can open drawers and closets, and you can search for gold and other tools. Once you find the key to room 1, you can open the door, and now you're in another room, and it directs you to room 2. Each room is more and more complicated, and each leads to another room. Sometimes you hear scary sounds, or the lights begin to flicker. This is a good time to get in a closet. There's a monster named Rush that runs around the rooms. If he gets you, well, then you're no more. Oh, and you can't hide in the closet forever, because there's another monster that looks for people staying in closets too long. So he kicks you out of the closet and uses it himself. So now you have to keep searching for tools or items needed to access or unlock the next room. There are 100 rooms. Well, I got to room 99 and then died. I give Doors 12 out of 10 stars because it is so much fun to be scared and running from the monsters while trying to figure out the puzzles to get to the next room. This game is not for little kids that has nightmares about scary monsters. And now it's time for the book of the week, Wings of Fire, The Dark Secret. This book is written by Tui T. Sutherland. Number to the back of the book. In fact, Lindsay, would you like to do the honors?
Sure. The mysterious Nightwings keep everything hidden from their home and their queen to their allegiance in war. Now they're kidnapping their own Dragonet of Destiny, and Starflight is finally meeting the rest of his tribe, whether he wants to or not.
Now, this is an arrow book for 10 whole points. That's a lot of points. It's rated for 5th grade and 5th month. So, this is book 4 in the Wings of Fire series. So, our 5 heroes are traveling from the Ringwing Kingdom to the Nightwings, and they're captured and they want their land back. So, the Nightwings want to kill all the Rainwings because they want their land back.
Oh my.
So, yeah. So, Starflight is a Nightwing Dragonet, and is nearly killed from a pit of lava because they thought he was a traitor because he's part of the Dragonet of Destiny. So, Marcy is a friend that is also a Nightwing. He freed Starlight from the lava pit, and they escaped using the steam ventilation hole above the pit. So, they got out of it. They were caught again and put on a boat, which would be much harder to escape from, even though they can fly. So, they discover that Queen Scarlet from the Skywings from the first book that suddenly got hit by vomit from the Rainwings is somehow alive and imprisoned by the Nightwings. What a twist.
Sounds like it.
Mm-hmm. Now, I won't tell you anymore because I think you should go read this book and enjoy all the drama yourself. Well, I gave The Wings of Fire, The Dark Secret 10 out of 10 stars because I really enjoyed how instead of the Queen of the Nightwings, they had a king instead. I did not see that coming.
Over 40 years, Lighthouse Central Florida has provided education, independent life skills, and job training to thousands of Central Floridians who live with blindness or any degree of vision loss. Whether it's picking out clothes in the morning or just moving around your community and serving Orange, Seminole, and Osceola counties, contact Lighthouse Central Florida at 407-898-2483 or visit them online at lighthousecfl.org.
And now it's time for an interview of an interesting person. Today's test is going to be so much fun. Today we have the one, the only, the amazing Lindsay Matteoni.
Hi, everyone.
Well, Lindsay is an interior designer who's specializing in residential interiors, kitchens, baths, and murals. So first off, how are you enjoying being on the show?
This is fun. I was not, I didn't know what to expect.
So you are an interior designer expert, and you run your own company. For my listeners that don't know exactly, what is an interior designer?
An interior designer is a designer of interiors that has gone to college, that takes interior design more than just a hobby. It becomes a profession. There's kind of a little two-step process to it where there are people that like to do interior design, and they're called interior decorators, and then there are people that get educated for interior design, and those are called interior designers.
Nice. So what does an interior designer do?
Sure. Great question. So we do space planning, anything, taking a room and just making it as comfortable, livable as possible with the client in mind, using sometimes their
opinions.
Yep, absolutely. They have a lot of opinions too.
So how long have you been doing this?
I've been an interior designer for 20 years.
Wow. So how did you know this is a go-to job for you?
Oh, that's a fun story. I actually knew I wanted to be an interior designer since 3rd grade. Yes.
Did you love drawing?
I loved to draw. I loved architecture, but I had a really awesome teacher, an art teacher, that single-handedly directed me that way and just said, I think you should be an interior designer. And I said, okay, that sounds like a lot of fun. And it included both the architecture and the art, and I loved it ever since then.
So why do people need to hire interior designers from their home?
To make their space cohesive, to create good traffic flow, to incorporate trends, to make the space a little bit more livable, and well versed.
Mm-hmm. Does it take a lot of training to be able to do this job?
I think so. I went to college, and there are many levels to the education of becoming an interior designer. You need to have patience. You need to have a good understanding of people, so sociology, psychology, and then working together with either a single parent or parents or a family. You need to be able to multitask and juggle all those personalities.
Mm-hmm. Does this type of work take a lot of time or physical labor?
Excellent question. I guess that all depends on who the designer is. Now, with me, I like to be involved. I like to get involved. I enjoy being on site. I enjoy being there during the installation. I enjoy helping set up. So for me, yes. But there are other designers that just would rather have a staff on site telling or directing the movement of different furniture pieces.
Mm-hmm. How does working in interior design make the world a better place?
It creates happiness. It creates an environment that the person allows themselves to feel themselves in. Yeah. So
what kind of projects have you worked on?
Many, many. I've worked on everything from high-end residential to staging a home, from creating a mural or a faux finish to installations. It is my project load is extremely broad, and it's everything from residential to commercial development.
So what kind of projects have you worked on?
I've worked on everything from residential interior design to commercial to store design and model homes.
Wow, that sounds like it costs a lot. Is interior design mainly for people with a lot of money?
No, it's not. I work with so many budgets, and honestly, I just enjoy helping my clients achieve the environment that they want.
So do you ever get to work on stuff for famous people?
Yes, I have.
Wow. So what is the best part about doing this type of work?
Honestly, is I enjoy being in the background, and I enjoy seeing how visitors to the property, how they end up receiving it.
So do you do the painting on the walls, or do you hire people to do it for you?
That all depends. If it's just regular painting, of course I'm just going to hire someone. I've done my fair share of rolling walls throughout the course of my life. I've now moved on to hiring vendors to do that. However, if I'm painting a mural, then I'm doing that completely and solely by myself.
Smart. So was the one thing that when you started to work in interior designing that you did not expect?
The sociology, definitely. You have so many different personalities that you're working with, and you have to find a commonality, especially for couples, to make the project a success.
So what is the hardest part about being an interior designer expert?
The travel. Lots of traveling. There's always jobs that you have to get to or even fly to, and that's time away from your family.
True. So is interior design a good business to be in?
I think so. 100%.
So what made you change from a designer to starting your own business?
Honestly, I think the pandemic gave me a little bit of a boost because I was at home with my daughter and taking care of her and still wanting to do what I wanted to do, but on my schedule, on my terms, and that actually just propelled me to go that direction.
So what is the name of your company and what makes it different from other firms?
Sure. The name of my company is Master Studio, and it's MSTR Studio. What sets me apart is that I'm very particular about the clients that I choose to take on. I want to make sure it's a good fit for everybody. I don't want to take on a client to have a client. I want to make sure that I'm donating all of my time and my resources to supporting that project.
So what have you learned about yourself while doing this type of work?
I'm a lot more patient than I thought I was.
What advice would you give to my listeners if they wanted to grow up and be an interior designer?
I feel like it's a gut thing, and I always appreciated readjusting furniture and putting things together for a space. What I would hope someone would do is do their due diligence to make sure that the right college is for them, to make sure that this is the path, the direction that you want to go in, to not initially settle on what interior design is, but the broader side of it, of what it could be.
So what was the craziest thing that has happened while you were doing your job?
Oh God, there's so many. There's so many. I honestly, I can't answer.
What was the greatest challenge that most interior designers are dealing with today?
I would say that's a twofold question. You're dealing with the inflation, which is just on product, whether that's timber or getting in a sofa. The other is timing, because everyone has been wanting to add to their space, and with that, schedules have been pushed back, and so you have to get up in a queue, and it's tricky to get there.
Mm-hmm. So my dad said that you will also do home staging. What is home staging, and how is that different from interior designing?
That's an excellent question. Home staging is more for the real estate community. It's what the real estate community needs to see, what their photos need to look like, how the real estate community and the realtors are going to be able to sell the property. So there's a whole different design shift when it comes to home staging than it is for people who actually live in the home.
Mm-hmm. So which one is more fun?
I think they're both fun.
Okay. So did you make a house so nice that you wanted to live there?
Yes. Yes, I've done that on a few occasions.
So what is the one part about your work that you are most proud of?
When it's finished. It's that moment of, there it is.
Yeah.
Like everything that was in my head and all that time and energy and the effort of putting it together, there's the product.
Mm-hmm. Well, who helped motivate or inspire you the most in following your dreams?
My parents. Absolutely. My parents were extremely caring and helped me along the way.
Mm-hmm. What message do you want to tell children all over the world about being in the interior design industry?
To be yourself and follow your gut.
Okay. Well, I heard a radio show and podcast that talks about God in my Lion Strong segment. How do you include God's message in your work?
God is the giver of my talent, and I am grateful every day for the fact that I can visually see the design, implement it, complete it, get it installed, and be proud of it.
Mm-hmm. So what was the first job that you ever had?
My first job actually was on a television show called While You Were Out. And my job was to draw the perspective drawings that were aired on the show for Maida Dinos and Chase Dakota.
Okay, well, was there anything you remember from that job that helped you to be a better interior designer?
I was coached really well because they were my mentors. And I happenstance met them by complete accident, but they navigated my mind into understanding the design world a little bit better.
Mm-hmm. So what was the biggest mistake you ever made, and how did it change as a person?
You make little mistakes here and there. I guess it depends on what you think is a big mistake. There are times where I've needed to refund and so it's not a mistake if you learn from it. Mm-hmm. I just take that and say, okay, oops, but how do you move on from it?
Mm-hmm. So when you're not working, what do you do for fun?
I love to cook and bake and hang out with my friends and hang out with my families.
Cook?
Oh gosh. I'm a big fan of Italian food.
Pasta?
Duh.
What type?
Spaghetti and spaghetti bake.
Ooh, I like penne.
Ooh.
I forgot. Yeah.
It's really good.
I cook it amazingly. Yeah, I cook.
That's pretty cool.
What else do you cook?
I make my own homemade Alfredo sauce.
I made chicken Alfredo the last time I cooked.
It's taken me about 10 to 15 years to figure out.
My mom helps me out as well. So
I love that.
Supervision. We're cooking steak tonight, so yeah.
Can I come over?
Well, we only had 2 steaks, so. Do you play video games? And if you do, what's your favorite one?
I'm old school. I play some Super Mario Brothers.
Not even on your phone?
No.
What?
No. I have Super Mario Brothers and Mario Kart, and
Those are pretty fun.
they are fun, and they're retro.
I'm sure your daughter would like a Nintendo Switch. Just playing those video games. Those video games, multiplayer, a ton of them. No kidding. I think you and your daughter would like them.
One of these days, she might get into it.
She might get into the gaming industry. Okay, so what is your favorite book to read?
Oh, it wasn't just finished, but it was called Una Out of Order, and it's a fictional book about time travel.
Ooh. Mm-hmm. Nice. Okay. Now, can you tell me that one story? And remember, this is a kid show, but that one story, well, that you're not supposed to tell me about. Come on, you can tell me.
I guess it's not embarrassing, but it's something that is about me. I was raised in a little town called Reseda, California, and it just so happened to be used for 2 things. The original Karate Kid was from Reseda. Daniel's son was from Reseda, and the song Free Fallin' was written about it. It's a long day living in Reseda.
Wow. Well, is there anything else you think my listeners should know about you?
I handle interior design and programs like I would learning languages. So when it comes to understanding the programs that I need to help my clients see the big picture, I choose and have chosen to learn multiple different programs to support that. So, and I've self-taught myself those.
So you've learned multiple languages?
Multiple. I use the term
programs
as multiple languages.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Like
no?
coding languages? That makes sense.
Oh, man. Does that make sense?
It does. Well, do you have a website or Facebook for my listeners who want to follow you?
Yes. My website is www.mstrstudio.com. And my Facebook is MSTR Studio by Lindsay.
Mm-hmm. Well, what is that one question that you think I forgot to ask you?
Am I having fun here today?
Well, are you?
Yes. This is a blast.
Well, thank you, Lindsay, for being my special guest. Can you stick around for Math Corners?
Of course.
Tiberius' favorite subject, it's Math Corners!
Well, thank you, Lindsay, for helping me with Math Corners. This week, we're going to do some more multi-step word problems. You know my dad loves showing me how math can be used in the real world. Today, we're going to talk about draperies.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Susan is an interior designer that has 2 draperies. She needs 11 1/4 yards of material for the den and 8 1/2 yards for the living room. If the material only comes in 20-yard bolts, how much will be left over in completing both draperies?
It's kind of a loaded question, actually. So, am I supposed to answer this?
You can if you want to.
Okay, so...
You can think about it, but I'll explain it.
Okay.
Okay, so this is a real issue because people do make draperies and many bolts are limited in their size. So first you have to figure out the total amount of yards needed. So we take 11 1/4 yards and add that to 8 1/2 yards, and then you get 19 3/4 yards. So we are lucky that it's less than 20 yards, or else we would have to use 2 bolts. And use a little bit of the second one. Next, we have to take the 20 yards from a single bolt and subtract the 19 3/4 yards needed. And we only get 1/4 of a yard left. That's not much. I have no idea what they could make with that. Maybe a matching tie?
Depending, a pillow.
True. So, Lindsay, do they really cut the material down to be so close to less than 1 yard extra? Or is that just what they want you to think when doing math problems?
Well, it's good to be as minimal waste as possible. It's very good. In the industry, you have the opportunity to do half piece pricing and full piece pricing, and using the word piece is the same thing as saying the word bolt. But half piece doesn't typically just come in 20-yard increments. It can come in anything from 20 to 30 to 30, and then full piece is anything from 31 to about 40 or 50. So it depends on what piece you have available.
Mm-hmm. So, well, thank you so much, Lindsay, for your help with math cleaners.
You are most welcome.
And now it's time for the video game of the week.
Today's video game is Doors. This gives me by L Splash. Because it's on Roblox, you have to play it on PC, Mac, Xbox, and even your cell phone, and it is free. Well, you may remember L Splash from their other games, Ragdoll Universe and Vocab Havoc. So first off, you appear in an elevator and you press E to open a door. Then you enter a lobby of a hotel. You see room 1, but it's locked. There are all sorts of stuff to look at. You can open drawers and closets, and you can search for gold and other tools. Once you find the key to room 1, you can open the door, and now you're in another room, and it directs you to room 2. Each room is more and more complicated, and each leads to another room. Sometimes you hear scary sounds, or the lights begin to flicker. This is a good time to get in a closet. There's a monster named Rush that runs around the rooms. If he gets you, well, then you're no more. Oh, and you can't hide in the closet forever because there's another monster that looks for people staying in closets too long. So he kicks you out of the closet and uses it himself. So now you have to keep searching for tools or items needed to access or unlock the next room. There are 100 rooms. Well, I got to room 99 and then died. I give Doors 12 out of 10 stars because it is so much fun to be scared and running from the monsters while trying to figure out the puzzles to get to the next room. This game is not for little kids that has nightmares about scary monsters. And now it's time for the Heart of a Lion. As you know, we talk about the qualities of living by the Heart of a Lion, which stands for leadership, integrity, obedience, and ability. This week, we're going to talk about leadership. For me, I think leadership is the act of loving what is good, having self-control, and being disciplined. The qualities of leadership are providing guidance and direction, organization, and being a positive influence on others. Well, this week, I was playing a game from Roblox called Surf. I am sure we will review it soon, but I was having a hard time playing. I would fall off the map over and over again. So this other player was spectating and saw that I was having a problem finishing the map. He offered to teach me about to do it a lot better and even made a private server so that I could try to match exactly what he did. I joined his private server and he showed me a completely new way to play the game that was much more effective. This was really being a leader and helping more people enjoy this type of game. I thanked him very, very much for taking the time, even though he did not get anything in return. So Lindsay, did you see or use leadership at all this week?
You know, in thinking about it, my daughter goes to gymnastics, and her coach is such an amazing leader to these girls that range from like 5 to about 7, and how she gets them engaged and gets them excited about completing and doing their activities, and how they feel so accomplished afterward.
Mm-hmm. Well, of all of the Heart of a Lion virtues, which virtue do you see the most?
In Coach Angie, or just around?
Just around.
Integrity. I want to say it's integrity.
Okay. Well, we should always try and be lion strong in everything we do.
Absolutely.
The Tiberius Show would like to thank one of their dedicated sponsors, Custom Designs Orlando. guys are on Mills Avenue and do all sorts of stuff, ranging from photo ID badges, engraved signs, custom braille ADA signs, vinyl lettering to trophies and awards. The cool part about Custom Designs is they can ship products all over the United States. You can reach them at 407-898-0373 and tell them that
Tiberius
sent you.
And that's our show, folks. I'm going to thank the one, the only, the amazing Lindsay Matteoni for being on my show. It has been so much fun talking with you today. I think we learned a lot about MSTR Studios and what an interior designer really does.
That's right. Thank you for having me. My website again is www.mstrstudio.com.
Also, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram at The Tiberius Show, and please make sure to visit The Tiberius Show on YouTube and like and subscribe. Also, be sure to listen to us next week on The Tiberius Show with your host, Tiberius!